Hi there, and welcome to today's virtual career event hosted by ADGM in partnership with eFinancialCareers. I'm pleased to be joined today by Maxime, who is the founder and CEO of Overnight Technologies Limited, and we're here to talk about the opportunities that lies within his business. So, welcome, Maxime. Please introduce yourself and please tell us the story of Overnight Technologies Limited.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rainy. Thanks for inviting me and hosting this discussion. So I'm Maxim. I'm the founder of Overnight Finance. Overnight Finance is a top 100 global DeFi protocol. So essentially, software operating on a blockchain in decentralized manner. When I say top 100, that means our TVL. We're top 100 by TVL metric. With TVL peaking at $179 million. We are producing a stablecoin called USD Plus. The stablecoin is essentially a fully collateralized stablecoin with collateral consisting of the so-called delta neutral strategies. They operate fully on chain, so all assets and all strategies are deployed on chain. Users can always see where their collateral is. And collateral generates yield. It gets passed over to the users. And users can see transparently where the yield comes from, how much it is. Everything is passed over to them and things like that. Overnight Technologies is 3.5 years old. We are invested by Hack VC, FG Labs, and recently Hub71, which is a virtual asset arm or accelerator of Mubadala, invested into us as well. So we have moved our headquarters to Abu Dhabi and now operate out of Abu Dhabi since 1.5 years, roughly. My personal story is that I started my career in traditional finance. So working, starting primarily JP Morgan as a bond trader, then Morgan Stanley. Then I spent 17 years with the Boston Consulting Group, ending up running financial institutions for the Eastern Europe. This is my already second business. My first business was a joint venture with a company called Mac49. We were producing startups for large corporations, roughly 3 years ago, I decided I imagined overnight and wanted to launch overnight. So the way the idea came to me is that in the blockchain space, usually people are going for high risk, high returns, and I felt there was a niche for low risk, low return type of products, similar to a money market fund in traditional finance. And it occurred to me that the units of money market funds, which are by legislation usually $1, and when you get a yield, you actually get additional units, remind me of stablecoins. And so again, 1 unit, one token, $1. That's really the metric. And getting yield in terms of additional units in the blockchain space is called rebase. So getting kind of additional units via rebase, that's what we do. That's exactly the mechanics of USD Plus and what we are doing. So this idea occurred to me. I wanted to do something global, something in finance, something which will operate day one for all people in the world. And that is why I chose DeFi, and within DeFi, this idea was very strong with me, resonated, and I presented to a few VCs. They liked the idea. We wanted to experiment. We did it. Went through a few bear markets, survived, learned to make money, and that's essentially the story of Overnight.
Sounds like a fascinating story so far, and I'm sure there's lots coming in the future too. So why did you choose to partner with ADGM and actually chose to operate within the UAE?
Yeah, so we originally were were registered elsewhere in a different offshore jurisdiction. But my background is really traditional finance. So I always imagined overnight as something which starts as a protocol but continues as a proper financial institution. And so we were looking for an environment with a proper regulatory regime for virtual assets, for digital, for crypto assets. And if you think about this and compare all jurisdictions one by one, ADGM very quickly #1 in the world. So this is the most clear framework, most clear regulation, both investors and founders are protected because there is clarity. You know what you're doing. You can focus on business rather than kind of on managing all sorts of regulatory risks. And so when I heard about Hub 71 as the accelerator program for virtual assets, I immediately jumped on that. We became the participant in the very first cohort. And so essentially, we're among the first to join this opportunity, and I never regretted this. It's a fantastic city to live, and even better city to do business, and even better to do business in virtual assets.
And so moving on sort of to business and opportunities, can you share the types of roles you're currently recruiting for? That's going to be of keen interest to our audience. And also, what are the factors influencing this hiring initiative?
Yes, so when we launched overnight and we launched USD Plus as our stablecoin, it was the market was very different than it is right now. So the yield sources were very much available. We introduced yield sources based on delta neutral strategies, but passive delta neutral strategies, and that's how we built the business. But these days, this is not enough. So what we see as our next wave of development is we want to become a market maker in USD Plus. So we want to be able to trade, and our niche is on chain. We want to be able to trade USD Plus against Ethereum or against Bitcoin, all on chain, and so to create utility for the stablecoin. And to do that, actually, we need to beef up our AI capabilities, and in particular, reinforcement learning capabilities, because those capabilities are really critical in today's world if you want to be able to trade without loss in such a volatile space as crypto. And so our hiring effort is very much driven by the fact that we want to move away from passive strategies. We want actually to keep passive strategies, but also build up this active trading capability. So for that, we need two types of roles. One is quantitative researchers of different seniority, but people who actually can help us build algorithms using reinforcement learning and also supervised learning for trading USD Plus against major cryptos. And second, speed plays a very big role. Infrastructure plays a big role if you want to do this active trading. And so for that, we also need backend engineers with experience in trading infrastructure. So our core specialty is on chain. So we know how to write smart contracts. We know how to implement strategies on chain using Solidity as the programming language. But everything which is mathematics, everything which is trading infrastructure off chain, very fast trading infrastructure off chain is something are the capabilities we are building right now.
So in terms of the quantitative researchers and the back-end engineers that you're looking for, what are the key competencies you seek out for those particular candidates?
So I think generally we break those down into hard skills and soft skills, and I would say hard skills are kind of hygiene fact, and soft skills is what really we are after. But in terms of the hard skills for the quantitative researchers, We are looking for primarily, an outstanding education in mathematics, financial mathematics, or similar discipline, where people got exposed to reinforcement learning in particular. So fundamental education with focus on reinforcement learning and supervised learning. Some people put this together as deep learning, but that's what we must have. Ideally, we are looking for experience in applying reinforcement and supervised learning to trading or to trading in crypto, but that is not so much necessary. We actually have a very strong team, and if people want to learn about crypto, but they're already excellent, outstanding, and exceptional on their fundamental mathematical skills, we will teach them trading, we will teach them crypto, we'll teach all that if they come in with this, outstanding, exceptional mathematical background. But obviously, if they already come from the industry, then that's even better, and we charge that much more. So these are, I would say, so outstanding education in mathematics, reinforcement, and supervised learning. That's what we're after for quantitative researchers. But then really soft skills is, sometimes play an even more important role. So we pay very large attention to team playing skills. So everything we do is a team effort. You need to be able to collaborate with the backend engineers. We need to be able to collaborate with your colleagues, learn and teach. So we have this apprenticeship model. So when junior guys can join and learn from those who already have experience, and the other way around, if you have experience, you have obligation to teach other people. So this ability to work on a team, the ability to coach and get coached is something very, very important. So being a pleasant person on the team also matters quite a lot. But at the same time, kind of getting things done on time, and ambition to learn more are very important for us.
Looking at sort of, you've mentioned hard skills, you've mentioned the soft skills. If you take the combination of them both, what does a successful candidate look like at Overnight Technologies Limited?
So a successful candidate, be that for quantitative research or be that for the backend trading infrastructure, among them we'll have only one difference. One will prefer mathematics over programming, and the other one will prefer programming over the mathematics. But other than that, it's very similar type of profile. Want somebody who is extremely, extremely smart, extremely, extremely ambitious, and very nice to work with. Now, again, these are people who have fundamental background, really are passionate about crypto and trading and finance, do not necessarily have experience in this area. Okay, so if they're good, they're super smart, super intelligent, they want to learn in this area, they can bring their talent to us on board, and we see their eyes are shining with the desire to learn about our field and to become, an excellent professional in the area. We'll give them all that. But we need shining eyes and unparalleled mind and great ambition.
So if you find that candidate that has all of those things, they're smart, they're ambitious, they're good to work with, how do you support them through their personal employee growth through training and development programs?
So I think, the key thing for us is kind of on the job training. If I kind of put it in the words of a large corporation, we are not a large corporation, we are 18 people. We're hoping to become a large corporation at some point in time, but what people get with us is very different from what they get in large bank. In large bank, you learn something very narrow and master it over time, you gradually start learning more and more. Your impact is very limited. You're always kind of a piece in the puzzle. You're not solving the whole puzzle overall. With us, you're having immediate impact. So you are working, for example, on a strategy into trading strategy into which we'll deploy a few $1 million. You will immediately see the impact of you will see kind of the strategy end to end. You'll understand the technical limitations, the mathematical limitations, financial limitations. You'll kind of master all aspects of the strategy. You'll have the holistic picture, and you'll see the impact of what you are doing right away. You will not be left alone when doing this, because people who have been doing this for 3 years and people who are kind of every day are moving forward the frontier of the possible and of the essentially cooperating at the innovation frontier in a sense, will be sharing their knowledge with you, and you'll be doing this together in a team which is pushing this innovation frontier in crypto, and you'll be learning from them. So you will probably learn much faster than in a more structured environment, because just the tasks are much higher level than you would ever be exposed to in a large corporation. But that's the startup. We do not always know what we are doing. We learn together. Once you learn, you are kind of one of the very few people in the world who know about this. You learn from your colleagues, and you progress very, very fast.
You know, and many would say sort of on the job, on the site training is actually the best type of training, right? Real lived experiences. And finally, Maxim, do you have any advice for professionals looking for their next career opportunity?
I think it's very important to identify the area which is not yet very fashionable, or but which will become very important, very fashionable in the future. So don't pay attention right now to what your kind of peers are saying is cool. Think with your own mind, with your own brains, what is going to be cool in 3-5 years, and try to position yourself in that area which will be there. And do this by think, what skills you can bring in this area. Maybe understand who is going to be the winners in the space in 3-5 years, and try to join those. Invest your time and your energy to adopt to the area by joining the winners before they're identified.
Thank you so much for your time today, Maxim. I certainly learned a lot about Overnight Technologies Limited, as well as sort of just general career advice too. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rainy. Pleasure to have this conversation, and thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.